future. We're joined now from our Paris bureau by Nabila Ramdani. She's a journalist and commentator, knows a lot about Libya, been following events closely, I'm sure, like the rest of us. Nabila Ramdani, perhaps I could pick up straight away on that. Do you think there is a growing feeling that arming the rebels will eventually happen?
Well, it seems that the NATO summit has concluded today that further heavy military intervention in Libya was very much in order. And the reason why the UN resolution was very broad and vague in the first place was precisely to allow for room for anything, including, perhaps eventually, arming the rebels. The feeling in the Arab world increasingly is that the UN, the now NATO-led coalition, is very much backing up the rebels, and it's drifting away from its first initial aim of protecting the civilians. You know, when you have effectively a coalition providing air cover to give confidence to the rebels to push westwards to Tripoli, but also we have seen French strikes hit grounded aircraft and tanks, which is, against, respecting a no-fly zone. But we also have seen now more and more the talks are about, the sentiment is that the NATO coalition is backing up the rebels, is taking sides. I have heard the disturbing reports from your correspondents about the kind of artillery that the rebels are using, Katyusha rockets, but also the Tomahawks fired by the US. And these are disturbing This is disturbing weaponry used and in the context of what is increasingly a civil war.
If you say that, are you suggesting that a lot of Arab countries, not many of them actually taking part in this action, a lot of Arab countries may become more and more uneasy about what is happening with this NATO-led coalition?
Very much so, and that is why Prime Minister David Cameron is quite mistaken when he stated today that the NATO intervention, military intervention, has widespread support in the Arab world. It's quite the opposite, in fact. The perception now, and this has been very much reflected by the position of Turkey during the summit, is that any Muslim country is increasingly seeing that what's happening in Libya as another Iraq, as another Afghanistan. There are increasing parallels taking place, not least of all in the rhetoric when David Cameron talks about a just cause, which is a rather disturbing echo to George W. Bush's just war, but also references to collateral damage. And that sort of rhetoric is a sinister reminder of the quagmire of Iraq and Afghanistan, which hasn't achieved the setting up of democracy in any of these countries, quite the opposite.
On the other hand, on this occasion so far anyway, what has been striking is that civilian casualties have been avoided, and that those who are trying to make Colonel Gaddafi stop his attacks on civilians, it has succeeded in those objectives. So do you not think there might be a little more sympathy for what is being done this time round, so much more care being taken?
Well, at this stage, you're quite right to highlight the fact that a potential onslaught on Benghazi has been avoided, and that is why Turkey is stressing the need for now a ceasefire. It's high time to...
Well, I'm apologizing.